After my niece called me a whore, my sister tried to destroy me, but when her husband's lies were exposed, she finally realized what he had done. Sophie, my niece, approached me as I reached for a burger from the grill during my parents' backyard BBQ and hit me across the face, ringing my ear. I stumbled backward and grabbed the picnic table edge to keep from collapsing. Sophie scowled at me and added, "Mommy says, you deserve it because you're a whore." My cousin yelled, "What the hell?" as my mother dropped her lemonade on the patio, breaking it. Everyone looked at Sophie, then at me, when a 7-year-old labeled me a whore in front of my family. Why? I had no idea. My voice trembled as I murmured to Sophie, "Why are you saying that to me?" Sophie didn't respond. She looked at me with a petulant smile and crossed her arms across her chest. My sister Emma and her husband Ryan stormed across the yard. Emma was the dramatic one in the family, slamming doors and yelling during disagreements while I sat quietly and waited. This much hatred had never crossed her face before. She treated me like rotten trash. "Get away from my daughter." Emma snatched Sophie and slammed her behind her back. "Emma, what is happening right now?" I asked. "What did I do?" my father said. "Girls, let's take this inside and talk about it calmly." Emma didn't listen. She was intended to destroy me. "You know exactly what you did," Emma said. "I celebrated my birthday last month. You followed my spouse into the kitchen after I extinguished my candles." "That is not true," straight away. "Shut up," Emma yelled. "You pressed yourself against him. You whispered in his ear that you wanted him. You tried to shove your tongue down his throat. And when he pushed you off, you grabbed his belt and told him I would never have to know." My mother said, "Oh my God, Megan, behind me." The swarm of family members watching my life unravel muttered. "None of that happened," I said. "Emma, I swear to you, none of that happened." "So my husband is a liar?" she said. "Is that what you're saying right now? That Ryan just made all of this up for fun?" Ryan gripped Emma's shoulder. "Babe, don't hurt yourself," he murmured. "She won't admit it." "No," Emma said. Ryan stood behind my sister, his mouth rigid and gaze fixed on the ground. "I want to hear her say it. I want to hear her stand there and call my husband a liar to his face." He shook his head slowly. He seemed traumatized. He appeared to be talking about something that didn't happen. "Ryan is lying," I said, my voice cracking. "I would never do that to my sister Emma. I'd never thought about Ryan in that manner." "Don't mention his name," Emma shouted. "The texts, Megan. The pictures you've been sending him for months, begging him to meet up with you behind my back. When he kept saying no, you cornered him at my party and tried to force yourself on him. He showed me everything." "What texts?" I couldn't stop crying. "What pictures, Emma? There are no texts. There are no pictures. None of this ever happened." "I saw them with my own eyes," Emma explained. "I saw what you wrote to him. I saw what you sent him. So don't stand there and lie to my face." I felt I was going crazy. There were no texts. There were no pictures. Ryan had never received anything from me. "Emma, please, Ryan is the one who came on to me that night. He followed me into the kitchen and put his hands on my waist. He said you didn't appreciate him. I shoved him off and told him I would tell you everything. And he grabbed my wrist and said, 'No one would ever believe me.'" Ryan's eyes welled up with tears as he sighed deeply. "This is exactly what I was afraid of, babe," he said. "Emma. I told you she would flip everything around. I told you she would try to make me the bad guy. I didn't want to say anything because I knew it would tear your family apart. But I couldn't keep lying to you anymore." Emma and my mother were sobbing. I saw my life deteriorate from the center out. I screamed out, "Mom," then turned to see her behind the broken glass. "Mom, please. You know me. You know I would never do something like this." My mother's disapproval in her eyes made me feel it in my heart. "I think you need to leave Megan," she said quietly. I attempted to approach Dad, but he was already heading toward the house, suspicious. I stood there, surrounded by people who should admire me, yet no one glanced at me. Ryan noticed me, and as Emma moved to bury her face in his chest, he winked at me swiftly and quietly, letting me know he had won. He had not. I would not ask my family to trust me over a man who had assaulted me first. He just feels that he won since he lied before I did. He is unaware that I aim to expose him. His present level of confidence will lead to his doom. He'll destroy his story with words before the end of the week. I will provide an update. Sophie, my niece, approached me as I reached for a burger from the grill during my parents' backyard BBQ and hit me across the face, ringing my ear. I stumbled backward and grabbed the picnic table edge to keep from collapsing. Sophie scowled at me and added, "Mommy says you deserve it because you're a whore." My cousin yelled, "What the hell?" as my mother dropped her lemonade on the patio, breaking it. Everyone looked at Sophie, then at me, when a 7-year-old labeled me a whore in front of my family. Why? I had no idea. My voice trembled as I murmured to Sophie, "Why are you saying that to me?" Sophie didn't respond. She looked at me with a petulant smile and crossed her arms across her chest. My sister Emma and her husband Ryan stormed across the yard. Emma was the dramatic one in the family, slamming doors and yelling during disagreements while I sat quietly and waited. This much hatred had never crossed her face before. She treated me like rotten trash. "Get away from my daughter." Emma snatched Sophie and slammed her behind her back. "Emma, what is happening right now?" I asked. "What did I do?" my father said. "Girls, let's take this inside and talk about it calmly." Emma didn't listen. She was intended to destroy me. "You know exactly what you did," Emma said. "My birthday party last month. You waited until I was blowing out my candles and then you followed my husband into the kitchen." "Not true," I replied promptly. Emma yelled, "Be quiet." They pressed against him. You muttered your longing into his ear, trying to drive your tongue into his throat. After he shoved you away, you grabbed his belt and told him I'd never know. My mother said, "Oh my God, Megan," behind me. I heard murmuring among the family members watching my life fall apart. "None of that happened," I said. "Emma, I swear to you, none of that happened." "So my husband is a liar?" she said. "Are you saying this now? Ryan made up everything just for fun, right?" Ryan approached Emma, grabbing her shoulder. "Babe, don't hurt yourself," he murmured. "She won't admit it." "No," Emma said. Ryan stood behind my sister, his mouth rigid and gaze fixed on the ground. "I want to hear her say it. I want to hear her stand there and call my husband a liar to his face." He shook his head slowly. He seemed traumatized. He appeared to be talking about something that didn't happen. "Ryan is lying," I said, my voice cracking. "I would never do that to my sister Emma. I'd never thought about Ryan in that manner." "Don't mention his name," Emma shouted. "The texts, Megan. The pictures you've been sending him for months, begging him to meet up with you behind my back. When he kept saying no, you cornered him at my party and tried to force yourself on him. He showed me everything." "What texts?" I couldn't stop crying. "What pictures, Emma? There are no texts. There are no pictures. None of this ever happened." "I saw them with my own eyes," Emma explained. "I saw what you wrote to him. I saw what you sent him, so don't stand there and lie to my face." I felt I was going crazy. There were no texts. There were no pictures. Ryan had never received anything from me. "Emma, please." Ryan is the one who came on to me that night. He followed me into the kitchen and put his hands on my waist. He said you didn't appreciate him. I shoved him off and told him I would tell you everything. And he grabbed my wrist and said, "No one would ever believe me." Ryan's eyes welled up with tears as he sighed deeply. "This is exactly what I was afraid of, babe," he said. "Emma, I told you she would flip everything around. I told you she would try to make me the bad guy. I didn't want to say anything because I knew it would tear your family apart. But I couldn't keep lying to you anymore." Emma and my mother were sobbing. I saw my life deteriorate from the center out. I screamed out, "Mom," then turned to see her behind the broken glass. "Mom, please. You know me. You know I would never do something like this." My mother's disapproval in her eyes made me feel it in my heart. "I think you need to leave, Megan," she said quietly. I attempted to approach Dad, but he was already heading toward the house, suspicious. I stood there, surrounded by people who should admire me, yet no one glanced at me. Ryan noticed me, and as Emma moved to bury her face in his chest, he winked at me swiftly and quietly, letting me know he had won. He had not. I would not ask my family to trust me over a man who had assaulted me first. He just feels that he won since he lied before I did. He is unaware that I aim to expose him. His present level of confidence will lead to his doom. He'll destroy his story with words before the end of the week. I will provide an update. My hands were trembling so violently that I had to stop twice on the way home from the BBQ. I wept at a grocery store parking lot while driving. Emma made an accusation against me. That night was so vivid that I felt dreadful. It was her birthday party. She rented the back room of her favorite Italian restaurant and invited everyone she knew. My attire was green since Emma always said green was my color, and I wanted to look lovely on her special night. Ryan welcomed me immediately as I walked in. He said I was beautiful and kissed my cheek. My brothers-in-law do it, so I said thank you without thinking. They laud the wives' sisters. It does not need to mean anything. But then I saw he was looking at me over meals, not my face. Lower. Despite the fact that I had done nothing wrong, his stare made me feel vulnerable, so I tugged on the collar of my dress. Ryan whispered, "That dress is doing things to me, Megan." I chuckled uncomfortably and walked to speak with my cousin across the room as Emma stood up to go to the toilet. I said I misheard him. I told myself he was strange and charming, like some men who have had too much alcohol. The alternative was too terrifying, so I told myself numerous things that night. Everyone went to the main room for dessert after dinner. Emma hoped with her eyes closed and hands clasped at the head of the table. I saw her happy and thought how fortunate she was to have found love. Maybe I'll discover it too. I slipped into the kitchen to get some water since the booze was making my head hurt. I stood at the sink in the quiet room, pouring a glass and stroking the chilly edge against my forehead. Then I heard footfall behind me. I turned to see Ryan standing in the doorway. His usual grin was gone. He glanced at me with a different expression. Hungry. There's just one term to describe it. He seemed starving. "There you are," he said. "I've been trying to get you alone all night." I laughed for no reason. "What are you talking about? Come on, Megan." He pushed off the door frame and walked toward me. "Don't play dumb with me. I see the way you look at me when you think nobody's watching. I see the way you dress when you know I'll be around that green dress tonight." That was for me, wasn't it? I backed up to the sink's edge. The counter was frigid despite my light attire. I remember thinking it couldn't happen. This must be a joke. "Ryan, whatever you're thinking, you should stop right now." He proceeded. He continued going till he was in front of me. I could smell champagne on his breath and see his pupils expand in the dim kitchen light from so close. Then he grasped my waistline. When his fingers brushed my hips through my dress, I froze because my brain couldn't process it fast enough to react. "Emma doesn't appreciate me," he said, almost kissing my ear. "She does not look at me the same way that you do. Megan, we could be awesome together. Only once. She doesn't need to know." I shoved. He lurched backward and almost collapsed as I shoved him hard. I yelled, "Get off me," loud enough to startle someone but not enough to fill the entire room. "What is wrong with you? Emma is my sister. I would never do that to her." Ryan's expression became sour as his charm disappeared. His jaw clenched and his gaze froze. He scared me briefly. "You're making a mistake," he whispered. "I was trying to be pleasant about it. I was giving you an opportunity. But if you want to play that way, that's okay." The way he fixed his shirt and looked at me made my skin crawl. "Just so you know," he said. "Megan, if you tell Emma about this chat, I'll tell her you came on to me. You've been messaging me for months, and you flung yourself at me tonight and I turned you down because I love my wife. She'll believe me. I'm her husband, and you're her jealous single sister who has never had a boyfriend, so she'll believe me." I gasped. "You're insane," I gasped. "I'm going to tell her everything." He grabbed my wrist as I attempted to flee outside. He grabbed my arm and squeezed so hard that I gasped. He said, "No," in a menacingly cold tone. "You're not. Because if you do, I will destroy you. I will turn your whole family against you. Your mom, your dad, your cousins, everyone. By the time I'm done, they'll all think you're the whore who tried to break up your sister's marriage. Is that what you want, Megan? Is that the hill you want to die on?" I grabbed his arm and ran out the door. His fingers left red lines on my wrist, which was painful. I almost told Emma everything when I saw her in the main room with her family singing happy birthday. I almost grabbed her arm and led her aside to show her my wrist markings and persuade her to trust me. Ryan followed me out of the kitchen and stood across the room gazing at me with a "I dare you" expression. I was terrified. He expressed everything in a bad sense, which scared me. She would trust her husband over her unmarried sister. My parents trusted their loyal son-in-law more than their daughter, with whom they had never been compatible. Because Ryan was charming and affluent, and I was Megan, everyone would support him. I hugged my sister and wished her a happy birthday before going home and not talking. I figured keeping away from him would be excellent. I figured skipping family gatherings would help him forget and move on, allowing us to pretend it never occurred. Ryan did not forget. Ryan stayed. While I remained mute to save the peace, he lied to Emma about texts and images that did not exist. He was arguing his case against me in whispers. He was becoming the victim, and I was the villain. It was too late when I uncovered his hidden activities. He had won, or believed he had. In the grocery store parking lot, weeping, I realized my worst mistake. Allow him time. I let him poison my family against me for a month while I sat silently, hoping it would go away. I handed him the knife he used to attack me in the back because I wanted to avoid conflict. Ryan continuously underestimates the people he damages. He thought I was broken. He expected me to disappear. He had no idea what I could achieve without fear. I needed to know how deep the harm was. I called my mother. On the fourth ring, she responded. Megan. I'd never heard her voice so cold. Not angry. Exactly. Even worse. Disappointment. I don't think we should be talking right now. Please, Mom, I implored. Just let me explain. Everything Emma said at the barbecue was a lie. Ryan made it all up. He's the one who came on to me at the party. And when I rejected him, he threatened to turn everyone against me. The other side was quiet. I heard her breathing. A calm television was playing in the background. Every year I saw her sitting on the living room couch, where I first began to walk, unwrapping Christmas presents. Where I cried on her shoulder after my first boyfriend broke my heart. My mother eventually said, Ryan showed Emma the text messages. Her tone was low and heavy. He showed her the pictures you sent him. I saw them, Megan. I saw them with my own eyes. It broke my heart. What? The texts. The pictures. I saw what you wrote to him. I saw what you sent him. Emma showed me on her phone. I clenched my steering wheel. Mom, there are no texts. There are no pictures. I have never sent Ryan anything in my entire life. Whatever he showed Emma was fake. He made it up. He fabricated evidence because he knew nobody would believe me otherwise. My mother sighed heavily. Megan, honey, I want to believe you. I do. But I saw those messages. The things you wrote were so explicit, so desperate. I didn't even know you were capable of that kind of language. Because I'm not, I said, sobbing again because I hadn't written them. Mom, please, you have to listen to me. Ryan is lying. He created fake text to make himself look like the victim. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And you're all falling for it. My mother responded. Why would he do that? Why would Ryan go through all that trouble? What would he have to gain from framing you? Because I rejected him, I said. Because he tried to kiss me in the kitchen at Emma's party and I shoved him away and told him I was going to tell her. He threatened me, Mom. He grabbed my wrist and squeezed it so hard there were marks. He told me if I said anything he would destroy me. Another extended pause. My mother spoke again, tired. I don't know what to believe anymore, Megan. I really don't. But I do know that Ryan has always been good to your sister. He's always been good to this family. And those messages I saw looked very real. The timestamps, the phone number, everything matched up. Then let me show you my phone, I implored. Let me come over right now and show you my actual texts. You can look through everything. You can see that I never sent him anything. Please, Mom. Please just give me a chance to prove it. I heard my mother stir on the couch. I can't do that, she whimpered. Emma made me promise not to have any contact with you until you admit what you did and apologize. And honestly, Megan, after everything I saw, I think she's right. I think you need to take some time to think about what you've done. She hung up before I could finish. Sitting there, staring at my phone, I felt as if the ground had swallowed me. Ryan didn't lie. He supplied proof. He established a parallel universe with forged words and images that duped my mother. Attempting to contact Dad. He stayed mute. He responded with, "Give your sister some space." After hours after receiving my text message. Sophie smacked me, and my cousin said, "What the hell?" I called him. My call went to voicemail. 3 days passed without a response. Sitting at my workstation at work, I looked at my computer screen but saw nothing. I cooked and watched television. I did not dine at home. I checked my phone every 5 minutes, hoping that someone would answer and believe me, but all I got were garbage emails and app updates. On the fourth day, I left my apartment to get food since I'd run out of everything and couldn't justify starving myself. While walking to my car, I noticed Ryan's SUV parked across the street, with him in the driver's seat, observing my building. When I recognized him, he grinned and waved as if we were old friends who had crossed paths by happenstance. He stepped out of his door and approached me. Every instinct in my body urged me to run, lock my car, and go. I was so fatigued, enraged, and afraid of this man that I simply stood on the sidewalk and watched him approach. "Hey Megan," he began, pausing a few feet away from her. He was grinning, hands in his pockets, deceiving my family with his stunning smile. "How are you holding up?" "What do you want, Ryan?" He tilted his head and appeared worried. "I just wanted to check in on you. Make sure you're doing okay. I know this whole situation has been really hard and I feel bad about how everything went down." I observed him. "You feel bad?" "I do. I never wanted things to get this ugly. I was hoping you would just let it go and we could all move on. But you had to threaten me. You had to make me feel like a criminal for finding you attractive. So, what happened after that is kind of on you when you think about it." This man's bravado and shamelessness in front of me, accusing me of his activities. "Those texts are fake," I said. "Those pictures are fake. You know they're fake because you made them. You fabricated evidence to destroy my life because your ego couldn't handle being rejected." Ryan's smile lingered. "See, that's the thing, Megan. It doesn't really matter what I know. It only matters what everyone else believes. And right now everyone believes that you're a desperate woman who tried to steal her sister's husband. Your mom believes it. Your dad believes it. Emma definitely believes it. And nothing you say is going to change that because I was very thorough." I didn't back away when he approached. "You should have just kept quiet," he said. "That night in the kitchen you should have just kept your mouth shut and none of this would have happened. But you had to threaten me. You had to act like I was some kind of predator for wanting you. So now you get to live with the consequences." He brushed my face with a finger. I slammed his palm so hard that it echoed throughout the buildings. "Don't touch me." Ryan gave a gentle laugh. "There's that fire. I always like that about you, Megan. And Emma just goes along with everything I say. But you actually have some fight in you. It's a shame things had to go this way. We could have been great together." "You're delusional," I said. "I would rather die than let you touch me." He said, "That can be arranged." So nonchalantly that I didn't notice the risk. "I'm kidding. Mostly, but you should know that I told Emma." I restrained my rage at the idea of Ryan being the victim at home. "Please," I said again. "I know I don't deserve it, but I need closure. Just this one chance, and then I'll leave you both alone forever. If that's what you want. I just need to apologize properly face to face so I can start to heal." I heard Emma sigh. "Let me talk to Ryan." "I'll call you back," she said, hanging up. I gazed at my phone on the couch. 20 minutes later she called. "Okay," she said. "Sunday dinner at Mom and Dad's house. 6 o'clock. But Megan, I swear to God, if you try anything or cause any drama, I will never speak to you again. This is your one chance. Don't waste it." "I won't," I said. "Thank you, Emma. Thank you so much. I love you." "I love you too," she said. "That's why this has been so hard." Sunday morning preparations took 2 hours. I applied makeup with care to appear put together without looking too hard. Ryan complimented my curls and flowing hair over my shoulders over a family dinner 2 years ago. I put on a shirt that I knew would draw him. Low cut but not too low, fitted but not too tight, just enough to make him look and wonder if I wore it for him. I arrived at my parents' house at 6. I couldn't read my mother's face as she opened the door. "Megan," joked. "I'm glad you decided to do the right thing." "Me too, Mom," I murmured. She parted to allow me in. When I entered the dining room, everyone was already seated. My father seemed uncomfortable at the head of the table. Sophie stands between Emma and Ryan. The unoccupied chair opposite from them was plainly intended for me. The shame chair. This chair would be used by the accused to ask pardon. I sat and observed the table. It seemed like everyone was watching. Ryan seemed to be paying close attention to me. I soon looked up and noticed him staring at my top. On my chest, not my face. After a time he realized I was looking at him and quickly glanced at his plate. Good. I sparked his curiosity. Dinner was odd. My mother talked about the weather. I addressed my father's job concerns in straightforward language. Emma hardly noticed me. Sophie continued in inquiring why everyone was so silent. During lunch, I apologized 3 times. I revealed my shame. My claim was to get professional aid. I can understand if they never trust me again. I kept an eye on Ryan throughout. When I gazed at him, he always returned my gaze. He stopped hiding it when my mother served dessert. Emma told my father about Sophie's school, and he glanced at me. He proceeded to glance at my top, then my face. I kept his gaze for longer than necessary each time I caught him. Not long enough for others to notice, but enough to make you wonder. I rose to the podium and requested, "Emma, can I talk to you and Ryan privately for a minute? I want to apologize to both of you properly away from everyone else." Emma looked at Ryan. Still staring at me, he slowly nodded. "Fine," Emma said. "Let's go to the living room." The 3 of us exited the table and I stood in front of them. "Ryan," I said quietly, approaching him. "I'm so sorry for the way I behaved. I was confused and lonely, and I misread your kindness as something more. That was my mistake. My sickness. You've always been a good husband to my sister and a good father to Sophie, and I never should have put you in that position. I hope someday you can forgive me." Ryan looked at me closely. I could see him trying to figure out whether this was real, whether I had given up, and if his strategy had worked as well as he had hoped. "I appreciate that, Megan," he said. "I know this wasn't easy for you to say, and I want you to know that I forgive you. I just want us all to move forward as a family." His arm encircled Emma. "See, babe, I told you she would come around. She just needed some time to process everything." Emma nodded and wiped her eyes. "Thank you, Megan," she responded. "This means a lot to me. I've missed you so much." I hugged my sister and told her I miss her. Over her shoulder, I noticed Ryan. He grinned. That arrogant smirk he had threatened me with in my flat. His arrogant claim that he had won. I smiled when we met again. Something changed in his face. I was perplexed, curious, and optimistic that I had finally come to my senses. He felt my grin to be important. He felt my outfit noteworthy. He thought I knew what I was missing when I turned him away from the kitchen that night. I'd let him think that till his death. Trap set. Ryan looked at me during dinner. I noticed his eyes constantly searching for reasons to dip to my chest. His smile drew my attention while Emma was not looking. He wanted me. Regardless, he wanted me. He questioned whether I wanted him back. Good. He should believe it. Allow him to get overconfident and stop thinking. Allow him to become so immersed in imagination that he forgets to protect himself. The following family lunch was 2 weeks away. I had 14 days to make Ryan desire me so badly that he'd say anything. I would ask him to say it to his wife. I texted him the next day. Nothing offensive that might hurt me. Simple family greetings that convey affection. "Hey Ryan, do you have the recipe for that pasta Emma made last week? I want to try it. What time is Sophie's dance recital? I want to send her flowers. Thanks for being so understanding at dinner. It meant more than you know." He responded to every communication within minutes. His first answers were guarded. "Sure, here's the recipe. Recital is Saturday at 3. Of course, family is everything." Midway through the first week, the tone shifted. One message had a smiley face, another a wink. He began texting me first at the end of the week. "Been thinking about you today. Hope everything's going okay. You looked really nice on Sunday. Green is definitely your color. Emma's taking Sophie to her mom's this weekend. Going to be pretty lonely around here." I disregarded the messages. I kept them set to red and watched the little message that showed he was typing. Not typing, then typing again. He was puzzled and wanted to know where we stood. Desperation was just what I needed. I dressed even more precisely for the second family dinner. The same technique applies. Low but not too low, fitted but not too tight. I sat across from Ryan at the table, keeping his gaze when Emma turned away. Sometimes I grinned. I occasionally looked down at the table in embarrassment. Sometimes I bit my lip and saw his pupils dilate across the table. He was drowning, and the only thing I could do was throw him a rope. He did not realize the rope was anchored. My mother asked for help with the dishes after supper. I eagerly volunteered and Ryan said, "I'll help too, babe. You stay and relax." Emma was taken aback. "That's sweet of you." Ryan and I entered the kitchen together, and he came to a halt because he was too near. I felt his heat behind me as I rinsed a plate. "You've changed lately," he said quietly. "What do you mean?" I said, looking at the dishes. The way you've been texting me. The way you keep looking at me at dinner. He approached and grabbed my neck. The way you've been dressing. I switched off the water and gently wiped my hands. I turned around and leaned on the countertop. Ryan stood inches away, his eyes dark with need. I've been thinking about that night, I confessed. In the kitchen at Emma's party, he said. Yeah, I was scared, I said. I was so scared of how much I wanted to say yes. So I pushed you away and tried to pretend I didn't feel anything, but I haven't been able to stop thinking about it, Ryan. About what could have happened. About what I missed. His fingers massaged my arm. I tried not to flinch. I knew it, he said. I knew you felt it too. I caught his look through my eyelashes. I was hoped we could speak alone. Ryan moved his hand from my arm to my waist, where he held me that night. When? Next Sunday, I announced. Same thing. You help with dishes, but this time I'll make sure we have more privacy. A wide smile seemed dreadful. You're serious right now? I'm serious, I explained. I can't stop thinking about you, Ryan. I haven't been able to since that night. I was just too scared to admit it. I heard footsteps and walked away as my mother entered the doorway. How are those dishes coming along? Almost done, Mom? I brightened. Ryan looked at me as if I had handed him the moon. 1 week. The final section of my strategy was due in 1 week. I only had to get her close enough to hear it without his noticing. I spent 3 days mentally touring Emma's house, memorizing every room, closet, and hiding place. The master bedroom walk-in closet with the slatted doors that lead into the room sprang to mind. Emma could see and hear everything in the bedroom from the closet. The closet would seem dark and empty from the outside. I called Emma Wednesday. Hey, I said, sounding sisterly. I was wondering if I could come over early on Sunday before the family dinner. Help you set up and spend some time together. Just the two of us. That would be really nice. She went on. I've missed our sister time. Me too. Oh, and hey, Ryan has been so sweet lately. He keeps texting to check in on me. Make sure I'm doing okay. You're really lucky to have him, Emma. I heard a beat of silence when the seed was planted. He texts you. Just supportive stuff. Nothing weird. He's just being a good brother-in-law, you know, making sure I'm handling everything okay. Right, Emma said. But her voice changed. A modest foundation fracture. Good. I wanted her to keep an eye on her marriage. I wanted her to pay closer attention to him than she had previously. I arrived at Emma's apartment 2 hours early on Sunday. Not Ryan's car in the driveway. Emma informed me that he had taken Sophie to get ice cream before letting me in. Wanted to give us some girl time. During the first hour of cooking, I planted small seeds of mistrust. Ryan seems stressed lately. Is everything okay with you guys? He's been texting me a lot. I hope you don't think that's weird. I feel like he's trying really hard to make things right between all of us. It's sweet, actually. Emma was supposed to ask why her husband was so worried about my well-being with each comment. To sow the smallest seed of doubt that would blossom when she discovered his genuine feelings for her. Emma said she'd take a short shower after we finished cooking. Make yourself at home, she said. Ryan should be back soon. This was my opportunity. Actually, I follow up. Would you mind if I use the bathroom in your bedroom? The one down here is out of soap. Sure, go ahead. I entered the master bedroom upstairs. My closet looked just as I remembered it. The door opened, and I looked inside. Perfect room-wide visibility, dark enough to be unnoticed from outside. Ryan's driveway car could be heard. Sophie remarked, Mommy, we got sprinkles. Emma walked down the stairs to welcome them. Ryan then said, Where's Megan? Upstairs, Emma. Left the bedroom and down the stairs. Ryan at the bottom looked at me, famished. As I approached him, he said, Hey, softly. Hey. We went into the kitchen and he entered my space when we were alone. So tonight, he mumbled. We're still on, right? Actually, I was thinking. I explained gently. Maybe we shouldn't do it here. Too risky. What if someone walks in? His expression indicated disappointment. Then when? After dinner, when everyone leaves. Tell Emma you're tired and want to go lie down, then text me. I'll tell my parents I forgot something and come back. Ryan's eyes widened. You want to come back here? To my house? To your bedroom? I said, I want to do this right, Ryan. I want it to be perfect. It appears like he will faint. Are you serious? I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks. I need to know what it would have been like if I hadn't pushed you away. I need to feel what I was missing. He grabbed my hand. I'll text you the second she falls asleep. Don't wait that long, I advised. Just tell her you need to rest. I don't think I can wait. After the family arrived, supper was pain. Every minute seemed like an hour. My job was wonderful. The remorseful sister is grateful for the welcome. Beautiful daughter helps the mother. Sophie's nice aunt was playing with her in the living room. I examined the clock on the wall, counting down the minutes till I could murder Ryan, who stared at me with greedy eyes. After supper and everyone had departed, I pulled Emma aside. Hey, I think I left an earring in your bathroom earlier. Can I run up and check? Sure, Emma said. Do you want help looking? No, it's fine. I know exactly where I was standing. I walked upstairs to her bedroom and checked the closet again. I texted Emma from my phone. Actually, I can't find it. Can you come help me look? I think it might have rolled into your closet. She entered the doorway a minute later. Where do you think it fell? Somewhere in the closet. I opened it looking for extra towels and I think it slipped off when I bent down. Emma went into the closet and checked the floor. I don't see anything. Keep looking, I said. It's a tiny silver hoop. Could be in the corner. Then I messaged Ryan. Come upstairs bedroom now. Emma's in the shower. I can't wait anymore. His staircase steps were rapid. He entered the doorway, breathing heavily, and lit up as he saw me. Where is she? He mumbled, nodding towards the bathroom door. Shower. We have a few minutes. He entered the room and shut the door. I cannot believe this is finally happening, my husband said to me. I've been thinking about you all day, all week. Ever since that night in the kitchen, I haven't been able to get you out of my head. Tell me, I said, approaching him. Tell me what you've been thinking about. My waist was once again in his hands. Same grip, possessive clasp. I've been thinking about what would have happened if you hadn't pushed me away. If you had just let me kiss you. Let me show you what you were missing. I asked. What would have happened? I would have taken you right there in my wife's kitchen, he said desperately. Emma has no idea what I'm capable of. She's so boring in bed, so predictable. But you, Megan, I could tell from the moment I met you that you were different. That you needed someone who could actually handle you. A gentle sound emanated from the closet. Emma adjusts weight and listens. I asked. What else? Tell me everything. Ryan sketched me. I wanted to push you up against that counter and show you what a real man feels like. And I wanted to hear you scream my name while my wife was in the next room blowing out her birthday candles. I wanted you to know that you were always the one I really wanted, not Emma. You. And when I said no, when I pushed you away, the man said. That made me furious. I spent weeks being nice to you, complimenting you, making you feel special, and you rejected me like I was nothing, like I was disgusting. So, I decided if I couldn't have you, I would destroy you instead. I asked. How? Tell me how you did it. Ryan gave a gentle laugh. It was easy. I made up the texts on a fake messaging app. Made up the pictures too. Spent a whole month telling Emma what a desperate whore you are. Watching your entire family turn against you one by one. He grins. And the best part, you came crawling back anyway. You apologized. You begged for forgiveness. And now here you are in my bedroom about to give me exactly what I wanted in the first place. Say it again, I replied. Say what you did. I want to hear it. I made it all up, Ryan claimed. Every single text. Every single picture. You never sent me anything. I fabricated everything and watched your whole family hate you for it. Nobody believed you, Megan. Nobody will ever believe you because I'm the devoted husband and you're just the crazy jealous sister who couldn't handle rejection. The closet door burst open. Emma's expression as she gazed at her hubby in the doorway was memorable. Her face had lost all of its color. Her hands trembled. Tears flooded her eyes. When Ryan turned around, he saw his wife and became paper white. She was aware of every confession, criticism of her dullness, and every detail of how he had gradually destroyed me in order to conceal his betrayal. He had nowhere to hide. Emma, Ryan sputtered. Babe, this isn't what it seems. I heard everything. Emma's voice trembled, making it difficult to talk. I heard every single word you just said. You made it all up. The texts, the pictures. You made my family hate Megan because she wouldn't sleep with you. Ryan raised his hands. Okay. Wait. Just listen to me. Megan set this up. She tricked me into coming up here. She made me say those things. None of it was real. I was just telling her what she wanted to hear. Emma screamed and laughed. I just heard you say it with your own mouth. You said you fabricated the texts. You said you made up the pictures. You said nobody would ever believe her over you. How exactly is that Megan tricking you? Ryan's expressions changed. Fear, fury, despair, and calculating. He tried to find an angle to twist this, but there was none. His own words doomed him. Emma, baby, I love you, he said. Everything I did was to protect our family. Megan was a threat. She was trying to tear us apart. I was just defending what we have. By framing my sister, Emma said. By making my daughter call her aunt a whore in front of our entire family. By making me believe my own blood tried to assault my husband. Her tears were falling. Do you have any idea what I said to her? What I did to her? Our mother won't even look at her anymore because of you. You destroyed her life, Ryan. You destroyed my relationship with my sister. All because your ego couldn't handle her telling you no. I did it for us, Ryan begged. Everything I did was for us. You did it because you're a coward, Emma said. You did it because the thought of a woman rejecting you was so unbearable that you had to turn yourself into the victim. And instead of dealing with that like a grown man, you decided to ruin an innocent person's life. She moved past him and joined me. She grabbed my hand. Get out, she murmured. Emma, come on. Let's just talk about this. Let's go downstairs and work through this together. Get out of my house, she yelled. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want you anywhere near me or my daughter ever again. Ryan's desperation became nasty. This is my house too. You can't just kick me out. Emma dialed 911 from her phone. She said, My husband is refusing to leave and I feel unsafe. He's also been stalking and harassing my sister, and I have evidence. Ryan's eyes opened. Emma, hang up the phone right now. You're being hysterical, sir, Emma said, breathing steadily as tears flowed. If you're still here, I'll tell them about how you harassed my sister, grabbed her hard enough to leave marks and faked evidence to harm her reputation. How you revealed everything, assuming no one was listening. My phone recorded it. Her phone's voice memo app was running while she taped from the closet. Ryan's confidence crumbled in real time. His shoulders sank, his face became gray, and he snatched his keys from the drawer, glaring at us with hate. This isn't over, he commented. I promise that both of you will regret this. After rushing out of the bedroom, the front door slammed so hard that the house rocked. His car began and sped out of the driveway so rapidly that I heard the tires screech. Emma trembled as she looked in the direction her husband had gone. I'm so sorry that I believed him, she wailed in my arms while I held her. You didn't know he manipulated you. Her apologies continued as I held her, experiencing the healing power of sisterhood over years.